inflection. It's quite weird to listen to, but yes. So obviously, I do fire. Yeah, to hear it. So
no, I was doing it. Listen to.
Oh, see that may, but that sounded like a question though. When I don't think it sounded like a question. But whatever. It's gonna be Snake defending. They got themselves a Torbjorn here for key. That's gonna be very interesting.
I like his skin.
IG Fire a little bit more standard.
America. He's not building walls. He's building turrets. Rory on the high ground though with Tracer, trying to actually annoy them. They've actually allowed Snakes for IG Fire to push in this position. They didn't really kind of contest all. They didn't have a Junkrat like you were mentioning before. They do have the actually they don't even have a Reaper. What is this composition? They have quad tank, triple tank, kind of quad tank with Torbjorn. I'm not. Maybe this is why IG Fire beat Snake, because they pull out stuff like this.
I don't know what that is, what this comp's supposed to be really. Like, Key's the only damage dealer, so he actually needs to do a lot outside of just his turrets, because it's so easy to circumvent the damage from the turrets once you know where they are. So Key actually needs to kill people here. And if he doesn't, then his team's going to be lacking some serious DPS. Lincoln finds his turret already, and now Roy's managed to single out the Zenyatta. He already got around. He spent his time getting to the back lines, and he's finding all the key targets. Punke and Isaiah, though, the tank's actually doing the heavy lifting here for Snake. Punke gets himself 2 kills, and well, there's not really much Roy can do about it. This has been trying to flank the whole game. Snake just beat IG Fire the old-fashioned way.
Look at the emphasis that they were put onto Key's turret as well. He's able to get it back up again, not to mention pick up the scraps. So this is a little bit of a snowball mechanism that you can do with a Torbjorn, because you get the extra armor, 75 armor per person, obviously 50 resource to drop it, 50 scrap to drop it. But it's really hard to kind of break through this once you start getting a Torbjorn with a lot of armor.
I want to know what happened to 1-7 in that fight. We didn't see him, you know. I mean, he should be able to break this team comp, especially with any sort of backup. He's got a Zarya for shielding, for God's sake, and even Knight on Anna. So something just went wrong there for IG Fire, not really sure. We'll see. Winston in here for Meng Mao. It's an interesting little pick. We'll see how that plays in.
He can't get the level 2 turret because they keep attacking it, and they actually take it down with level 1. 1-7 finally comes in and just takes it immediately. He's had enough of his building. But all the builders now out of the house. He's in the grave. And Yuan-7 with the Nano Boost is going to come in after the Transcendence. This should be a wipe here. Yuan-7, he's actually not doing as much damage as we expected. They've been able to knock him away, and Sega picked up 3 quick kills.
I don't know if I like the timing on actually that Death Blossom there as well. There was enough to protect Snake from the ultimate here, and IG Fire are throwing a heck of a lot at Snake, and not much of it sticking right now.
Oh, 700's going on the hunt. Looking for Naibo. Naibo will fall. And Snake, how? I just don't have words. Is Torbjorn going to have 100%, not 100%, like 50% win right now since we've already seen it before?
This is almost a lost push. If this turret's in a good place, Molten Core is going to destroy IG Fire.
Especially if Pongay protects it, which seems to be the route they have been going with. Kind of keep him alive. They've even investing Zarya shields onto Key. I think you can see Roy just waiting for the opportunity. Not to mention a post bomb. It won't kill the turret if you get some Molten Core off in time. But if he's a second too slow, then it won't work at all.
Well, it's going to be a pulse bomb there as well. It catches on towards Fate. That's a decent fight, a start to this fight. But will it be enough? We're not really sure here. Key is sitting on that Molten Core. Going to be waiting on now when to use it. His turret's still healthy enough, so he doesn't need to stress so much about it here. Now he's going to bring that one out. Now Key needs to get into the fight as well. I want to see him start using this direct fire a little bit more. He's challenging out Roy. Roy's forced to get away. That sound barrier, it's about to time out. And this turret is still chunking away at IG Fire.
That shield's coming in really big, and Yuan-7 somehow again has another Death Boss, and he picks up 2 or 3 kills, and the rest of IG are finally able to topple the defense. The IKEA strat, you want to call it for Snake here. And they're able to push on towards the second point now. Ideally, in this situation, when you're Snake, you got to get rid. Yeah, you got to get rid of the Torbjorn. He's not going to provide too much. But they're switching Meng Mao from, what was it, Winston over to D.Va? See, typically you'll switch to a D.Va when it's like, all right, well, we've all died and we need to contest the point to stall.
The self-destruct gives you a lot of control at this point right here. So it can be a panic button sometimes just to force IG Fire to get off the point. There's only going to be one spot on this point that you can stand to avoid the blast if it's placed off towards the left or the right here. So it's not a terrible idea, and if you have line of sight to it, remember you can die. So Pulseman's going to come out here for Roy, but it obviously doesn't catch on. There is a sound barrier there. Someone's sleeping on the job. I think that's Punke, yeah, but he's not really followed up on there as YGP finds Fate. Trades back and forth here, but IG Fire definitely aren't winning out on this fight. That's back up.
Yeah, that post-fire to Roy actually was really bad. He actually missed. I think he mistimed his blink because he threw it like on the ground where no one even was close to. But nonetheless, he's already up to another one, 68%. He's going to have it in this next fight. He's going to heal it by his teammates, and the Groupstage Surge out of Snake should be enough to win the fight for them. Especially not to mention give Meng Mao most likely an ultimate. Yuan-7's going to have to Wraith form out of it. Roy's probably going to blink out of it, so he doesn't need to keep his defense matrix up.
It's going to force the attackers either into the trench or deeper into the defender space if he uses it correctly on this point. So, I mean, usually in a pinch, it could probably get him 1 or 2 kills if IG Fire are already so committed to the point and they're brawling out. So, it's not bad. I don't know if it's the best decision either, to be honest. I think maybe Winston might be a little bit better to get off the back line, deal with Anna and the like, but we'll see. It's going to be a Graviton Surge here, and IG Fire are caught up in the middle. Although Knight finds Pungay there as well with a couple of those darts in the back. It's going to be a Blizzard drawn out of Snake here, at least is used by Key to try and slow things up, and IG Fire, they need to rely on 1-7 here to be most of the damage, most of the spearhead. He's going to go around the D.Va and try and get on towards the Zenyatta, but it's not going to work out.
Considering how that fight started, Pongay, he got killed and then the Transcendence was popped out of Fate after. So he was a little bit slow to actually keep Pongay alive, but it seems like they were able to make a stall long enough. They kept Yuan7 busy with the Wraith form and backed away, that they just couldn't really come in off the back of that, even with that man advantage. But also, the hardest part of capture point is, well, killing the entire enemy team at once, not letting them trickle in, because if they come in one by one or you kill them off one by one, they can walk in and continue to stall and then eventually build up some ultimates in this chaos to turn the tides of the fight. They need to have a very clean fight. With the Graviton Surge and the Pulse Bomb combo out of IG ready to go, this could be what they need. But Meng Mao, if he hits the defense matrix perfectly, they're not going to have either of those ultimates up.
Yeah, the Pulse Bomb is going to get sucked in. Dyson hoovered it out of the way, perhaps. Wall's going to be used there by Snake up on towards the left side of that point, and now they're actually going to go and try and go through it here. So they're trying to take IG Fire by surprise, and now the Sound Barrier comes down. Roy, there's a Sound Barrier, mate. He still gets 2 kills, and it doesn't matter. His Iron Fate fall down. Must have been enough damage done to start off, and maybe Decay just enough. But Roy would be happy with that one. Getting himself 2, that's 3 now. YJP finds 700, it's a frozen, solid Reaper. Key's going to also fall.
Thing is, they're going to be able to respawn back in. As long as Key gets back to the point here, he's going to have that Blizzard and potentially... No, there wasn't going to be a self-destruct, but there's got to at least be a Transcendence out of Fate. And like we just talked about, yeah, you picked up the kills, and ideally you won the fight, but you didn't get the kills quickly and cleanly enough to transition into an actual capture. They have 0 progress on the point.
They're farming ults in that push, essentially. That's what you have to be satisfied with now. And they've got a fair few, to be fair, but they're going to need to withstand 2 waves of Snake, just not 1. So they might want to space these ones out, and that's a problem, because wiping Snake has been a big enough problem for IG Fire, let alone wiping 2 versions of Snake. Sound Barrier here for IG Fire now as they're going to try and press forward. It's mostly been expired on a lot of them, and that's going to be Key's ultimate coming down. He held onto that one, the Blizzard coming in. 1-7 is eventually going to drop so many shots coming in his direction, but that's a big Earthshatter coming in, but the response coming out. No one was there to block either Earthshatter. Pungay, he gets a second Earthshatter, but he's lost a lot of teammates here. Will he be able to stall out for long enough for reinforcements to arrive? That's the question on my lips right now. Roy going to go through, gets picked off by Key as he's trying to harass down the Reinhardt, and it looks like reinforcements are on the way quickly enough.
Yeah, there's just nothing IG can do when they can't take them down quick enough. I can't stress that idea enough of having these clean fights and these quick fights that completely take out the enemy team. With a Comp Snake is running, with a D.Va, with a Mei, with an Ana if Fate's not being tracked onto, which ideally Roy should be going for, you're going to have so much survivability and so much longevity when it comes to these fights. Even if you do almost kill them once, well, D.Va's just going to get desuited, and Mei's just going to ice block.
And you can see how the impactfulness of particular ults can overcome an ult disadvantage. Snake had Blizzard and Earthshatter, and that was enough to win up against 5 ults. That's all they needed. So good use of those strong ults is very important in those situations. You can work your way back from behind now. It's a 1-for-1 trade. Graviton Surge coming in. YJP's caught in the middle of it now. It's going to be a self-destruct coming in. Meng Mao going to make it happen. He only gets on towards YJP, but that's still a good start. At least someone's going to get caught up in one of those most times. But IG Fire have control of this point. There's only a couple Snake players there. One is slept, but the rest of his team is doing the good work for him.
And he's trying to take down Sound Hunter, which he'll be able to do. The Reinhardt charge comes in from the side. He gets the pin. He doesn't get the kill, but Yuan7's going to have the net, but he doesn't have the chance to do it because he gets Earthshatter down. Meng Mao takes down Lincoln somehow towards the backside, and Yuan7 with 20 HP, no chance, no opportunity for him to use that Death Blossom, and they're going to hold again. We're in overtime in IG Fire. This is their last chance. With Roy dropping, they don't have anyone left here. Yep. Snake are going to hold strong in the second point and limit IG Fire to only 1.
That Mei, very important. Key lived up to his name in terms of the role and what he's provided towards his team. To be fair, IG Fire had problems working even on towards the first point. The Torbjorn seems to have thrown them, and yeah, well, I mean, they eventually managed to get Meng Mao out towards the backside and sort of flank around, but they were trying to use these flankers on a point that was very well held via peripheral means. By that I mean there were turrets there to catch them as they tried to press forward, and that, I guess, added itself now to the hierarchy of threat. It's just another thing that IG Fire had to deal with, and they were already kind of taxed with dealing with 6 opponents, let alone 1 more turret.
I really don't want Torbjorn to be a factor of them holding that first point for so long.
It shouldn't be a factor. He shouldn't get his ult. He shouldn't. They shouldn't have that first point long enough for Torbjorn to get an ult. Right? You're playing 3 tanks, 2 supports, and a freaking Torbjorn. If you can't break through that when you have a Reaper and a Zarya, something's not going right.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of the avenue of attacks. You saw Yuan7 time. Try a couple of times, actually. He was attacking in one of the engagements with a Graviton Surge, but a Transcendence, but there's no Biotic Grenade to follow it up because they used a Lucio. Actually, no, they did have an add-on attack, didn't they? Just, I guess the Biotic Grenade didn't hit. And his Death Blossom that came through just did absolutely nothing. It did some damage, yes, but I think it was Meng Mao who got Primal Raged and actually knocked him away to prevent the damage from coming through. But Torbjorn should just not have worked, and IG Fire have to be kicking themselves because they would have had another minute or 2 of time to work for in that second point.
It's the kind of thing, it's a snowball. Once it gets going, it really gets going, and the extra armor is just the icing on the cake there. You know, you can deal with Torbjorn turrets pretty safely with direct fire means as well. A Torbjorn in a game like this is not going to have the time to go back to his turret and keep repairing it while his team is engaged upon. You know, you can even use a Pharah at long range to pick off at it. It's a Pharah up against 3 tanks, no Ana. What's going to kill you? What's going to kill you? Nothing. A Pharah would have been a good pick for IG Fire there. Take down the turret from long range and just have ults for days because no one can stop.
Well, look at Mengmao. He's going to be playing Widowmaker, and Key's going to be on Tracer, so going extremely quick. They're not up against a Junkrat either, and they're not really up against anyone who can deal with Mengmao unless Lincoln's going to offer his shots towards his direction, or maybe you want 7 to go for a hook. But Mengmao, can you pick up any shots? It's a really risky play to go for this. You know you have some time to work with. You know you spotted out at least one monk off to the side. But Snaker holding towards the top, so now letting IG5 actually push into the move. Already there, them 1 kill into 700.
Yeah, just trying to oversee this one. You can see YJP trying to play from the top side. It's probably not the most effective way to get involved in this kind of fight. Yeah, he drops down. He's got good energy here, so he can help his teammates now picking people off. But Fate's the only one to drop here. 1-7 of Royal already down. The Roadhog Reaper. The kill potential on this team has been reduced significantly now. With Pungay falling to Lincoln, that's at least IG5 may be able to hold on here. Knight has a decent position to keep the heals coming through. Isaiah now falls to Lincoln, by the way, who's done more work than his Reaper and his Roadhog put together in this fight. And it will be IG Fire holding on.
And Iba now at, what is it, 30% of his ultimate. Mengmao, I didn't really see his name on the kill feed. He might have been getting the assists in because he's at 83% on his ultimate, but he really didn't do much. And that's where you saw Ana, played by Naibo on the side of IG Fire, sitting so far back because he didn't want to get caught out when he did go for the peek down towards the bottom.
The thing is, Ana, I think in a lot of ways is stronger than Widowmaker. And I know she doesn't do as much damage, but the way the scope mechanics work on Ana means that you can actually be a little bit more mobile than the Widowmaker. You can jump and then scope in. You can actually scope mid-jump as you're coming down. So using Ana in itself can be enough to deal with that Widow if the Widow's just beset on all sides. Now, Key, yeah, he's looking for the flank. This is exactly what Roy tried to do, I think, in the last game. Or was it 1-7? Either way, Lincoln deals with a Tracer. Perfect use of the Orbs of Destruction straight towards the face. And when you're Zenyatta's capable of that, the sky's the limit.
Mango is finally able to kill Tresor, but the thing is, Roy switched over to Genji to deal with him. He's been able to jump in towards the backside with Snake on the point. They've actually gotten 2/3 of progress where the ground surge is going to go through, but it's being contested. They haven't gotten that second checkpoint just yet. Punga's going to charge straight through. The Earthshatter is available for him. The 700 and Key chime in. Ideally, this should be a point that they cannot lose, especially with an Earthshatter Punga that you can use to maintain control. And there you go. Snake have the first point, are now 1 point away from going to 1-0 up in the entire wildcard group.
And on top of that, Snake have claimed that first point about 2 minutes quicker than IG Fire. All Snake need to do is finish the map here. IG Fire failing at the last hurdle. Now, this pulse bomb could be pretty nasty. He actually just sticks that one to Nate. He's going to fall down, and Lincoln also goes. He gets 2 supports for the price of 1 pulse bomb. That's ridiculous value. And now Tresor falls to Fate. Everything going right for Snake. They have control. Now they need to deal with the reinforcement. The desperate attempts from IG Fire to stay alive in this game.
They have an Ana boost. They're going to pop it right away. Key's about to have pulse bomb up again in just a few seconds. He's able to finally secure it, shooting onto, I believe that was Lincoln, but he hasn't had the right target to throw it onto yet. They're grouped up in this corner. He's going to pop it down. He gets on the enemy.
Oh my God,
someone on the Tresor. He gets the man down, and somehow Snake is holding on to this one. IG Fire is trying to rush men back onto the point here. Key is being forced back just a little bit off to the side, but he's not able to pick up any more kills. Lincoln is being so slippery. So is YJP on the Tracer, but Roy now on the Mei, able to come back in. Naibo's going to be there as well, switching over to the Zenyatta. And Key, I mean, you might be doing a lot of damage right now, but your team isn't picking up the kills. You still haven't even crossed that first checkpoint on the point.
Sorry, excuse me. He's doing damage, but he's not getting kills. That's the problem. YJP actually coming in on the Tracer and now doing Key to a degree. It was a great start to the fight, but as a Tracer, it's no good to you if you're just doing chip damage against people because it's easy to heal up. You've got the Ana there to heal things through. Or at least you're going to have a Zenyatta and Lucio combination there. IG Fire hold, but it wasn't easy. But they don't give any sort of thirds of that percentage marker towards Snake. So Snake don't actually get any progress there. I thought they would at least get a third of the capture progress, but IG Fire responded quickly. And now you see why this map is so hard.
Yeah, that's in general capture point is really difficult, but 700 Groucho Surge is available. They have the post bomb combo. IG Fire have to be careful. They don't have a D.Va to actually separate this one. They're going to have at least a Mei well, but it's going to be disrupted in just a few seconds. Groucho Surge has come through. Roy is just trying to distract them off towards the side. The Soundbarrier has come in, and the post bomb doesn't really seem to do too much. They're able to survive through that one in Palangay. He's just going to swing for the fences. That's 60% ultimate, but he's not getting any kills, most importantly. The Nano Boost doesn't seem to have offered them too much, and IG Fire will hold again.
No, you did right. Didn't offer them much at all. Roy with that Blizzard, very, very important in that fight. He's almost got himself yet another one to come. He managed to split the damage dealers of Snake behind their tanks. And that's kind of not ideal when your team is actually engaging. When you're trying to advance through poke damage, fine. But the Reaper was caught out towards the back. Well played by Roy there to split them through. And you're right, Pungay had no backup, despite being in a good position to do damage. But now here comes the Pharah.
Okay, actually good Good idea for actually Key to switch over to that one so he can go on the high ground, not really be dealt with too much. There's no Ana anymore. There's going to be Naibo on the Zenyatta, but that's just about it. Unless somehow Roy's able to hit these right clicks, which that isn't even going to be his focus for the most part, because he wants to freeze as many people on the ground as he possibly can. And I think Snake want to wait for this barrage to come up, because they have shown in the past that they love to use a nano-boosted Pharah.
Yeah, and Pharah also can sneak quite close to the point and jump up in barrage without really being spotted if she used the lower levels in the trench. So it can be pretty tricky to deal with if you're not ready for it, if you're not sort of paying close attention. Now, that's a good rocket though. Knight's going to be caught by that one here. Mengmao finds 1-7. There might be something happening here. Blizzard comes in from Roy, and it does catch quite a few people from Snake, but Key's able to avoid it at the very least. Now, he can get up and over the top. He can spread some damage in and try and get some finish off on towards his Zarya. That's the shot that we're looking for. YJP falls down, and now Snake can start to capture this point. They've got 2/3 of the way through. Desperation for IG Fire now, pushing that Reaper on. He's going to die in a matter of seconds. Surely he's going to die. There it is. And now it's everything. Everything's being thrown at this point by IG Fire to try and keep it going, but Snake are holding on.
He just needs to stay alive. He's got his barrage momentarily here, and the point, it's so close to finishing off that they aren't able to get enough reinforcements back in. He's going to pump the rush preemptively, trying to go for the Mei, but somehow Roy's able to still have switch over with the great reaction time to put that one up. And not to mention, IG Fire is still trailing in one by one. Ground Destroyer is being thrown in towards the D.Va, who's just going to power boost away from this one, and the Reaper's coming back, and someone gets taken down immediately. YJP switch over the Tracer. IG Fire are throwing everything they have just to hold on to this point.
Yeah, and it's not working out. They're not actually getting any kills. Snake aren't taking any damage here. It's just being stalled out. And Snake are going to take the entire series here with that one victory. Nicely done. And IG Fire, a very lackluster performance on this map yet again, or perhaps even by comparison. The switch towards the Pharah for Snake, which is something they do on multiple maps, definitely was a part of them able to push through in the end.
Not to mention them sticking together for the most part, not actually dying, since you don't have the ability to run back into the point unless you switch to a Tracer or something extremely fast to reinforce it. IG Fire, if they maybe regrouped a little bit more on the attack into the point. The thing is, because a large chunk of them got killed off relatively early on, they weren't able to really, they had to send 1 or 2 people in, the 2 stragglers, to kind of contest the point. So when the big group went in and defended, when they all died, the 1 or 2 people who were left wondering, well, what am I supposed to do now? Do I wait for you to respawn in? Do I go send the point? They had to rush in. It was the D.Va, it was the Mei, it was the Reaper, and they weren't able to accomplish much by themselves. They needed more reinforcements. They needed to attack as a team, and kind of separating their spawns like that out of Snake helped them win.
Well, there it is. Series done and dusted. And Snake haven't quite